Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators. Today, we have a special guest.
Dr. John Turner of the Turner Brothers, featuring Kelsey D.
All right. Welcome to the show. Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Of
Uh-huh.
course, of course, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I love to always, every guest that I talk to, I like to go back to the beginning. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what I always say, at the beginning is what kind of started everything and your trajectory where you're going in life. So tell me a little bit about your childhood and how, you got into the music industry.
Well, my mom was into gospel, so she had a gospel group. So looking at her coming up, uh, she kind of, instilled the music in us. She had a gospel group where she could sing, and then obviously, she had children, and my sisters joined that. My mom was in a group called the Evening Stars, and then later on in life, she started the Turner Singers. So my sisters were involved with that, and then eventually, I started playing guitar when I was 15,
Nice.
and I did a little bit of that. But then I went more R&B. So that's how I got started in music. And my brother Kenny, same thing. He started learning instruments and keyboards, drums, bass, guitar, and guitar. So that's how we got our music came from. So supposedly we're supposed to be some type of kin to Cap Calloway, but I haven't yet to do an ancestry to see that. So
That's awesome. Wow.
that would make
R&B.
that would make some sense out of some things. I have
Right.
yet to do that though. So
Definitely.
mhm.
That's all. So R&B, like what draws you to R&B? And when you think of R&B, because when I think of R&B, I think of like grown, sexy music.
Mhm.
Just why R&B?
um R&B is basically, I'm more old school.
Mm-hmm.
So, and R&B to me is the music, the universal music of the world. You
I
can
like
dance to it, you can cry to it, you can be happy to it. It's just a lot of um, things that come out of R&B music, rhythm and blues.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's more variety in it. Uh, I have a gospel background, but I've always been one of those type of guys that I like good music. My ear is trained to the music and what's happening now. Mhm.
Hmm. I like that. And when I think about it, because I love the song, I'll always, love. I
Thank you.
love that song. It's almost kind of very jazzy too. It's like has like these,
Yeah.
and I don't know
Uh,
if that was like on purpose, but it felt really like nostalgic. Like it felt really like I actually thought about Nina Simone a little bit about how she
right.
was unapologetically black, and I'm like,
Right.
yes, I like this. And
Uh,
what was the process of making that? And then the fact that you re-released it, I mean, it's doing really
mhm.
well. That's awesome.
Well, back in 1986, on August 6th, I know the date. You probably wasn't around then, were you? No, I'm
No,
just joking.
I wasn't. I wasn't.
I have a sense of humor, but back then I was waiting on my brother and at the time my lead singer Chrissy I was waiting on them to come to rehearsal. So I just started playing the song, the key of A. I was doing some barcodes on guitar, and they came in. They was like, "What is that?" I said, it's a new song." And they said, "What's the name of it?" Says, "Always." And then we all just sat down and wrote it. But back then, we took it to the local radio station, and they didn't want to play it. But then, 30 some years later, we wanted to re-release it. Now, my lead singer at the time, Chrissy, could not she could not sing anymore because of female issues and stuff. So I got this young, beautiful young lady named Kelsey D out of um, Charlotte, North Carolina, and she was she went way beyond our expectations, and so we just updated to music, and right now is really doing well. I mean, we're like number 7 in Mediabase chart. We went number 1 on the digital radio tracker about a month ago,
Nice.
and we on another chart called the Virgin 300. We got as high as 6 on that one. So,
Nice.
so song's doing well. And that Mediabase chart is, if you look at that chart don't lie. It's basically, because a lot of people don't know this, that, and I hope I ain't taking away from your your questions. Billboard doesn't necessarily do radio no more, which they're tied to. They're tied to. I think them and Mediabase are. I think they're together or something. But Billboard mainly because there's no more CDs or records for them to track. They track streams.
Right.
So, so Mediabase is still one of the rare charts that still do radio. So if you look at us, we're number 7 this week, but like number 1 is who else? Ursha. I mean, you got After 7 on there. You got that new guy, October London.
Oh, wow.
It's just big names on there, and we're just grateful to even be involved with that on that list.
I mean, it's a great song. And I mean, why do you think it's doing good now? Do you think because I feel like music has changed so much, and then just getting visibility. Why do you think it did well now versus back then?
Well, back then was a different time. It was the time of Anita Baker. Back then, 80s, mid 80s. But now, it's because I think we have more outlets now. Like streaming is kind of taking over things now. Streaming and like me, I don't listen to regular radio. I listen to XM radio, which still waiting on them to see if they're going to pick up our song. So it's just different facets. Back then was different. Back then, 30-something years ago, we didn't have streaming. But now we got streaming. Now there's more formats for bands and artists to get their music heard. Like Spotify is the number 1 streaming company in the world, followed by Apple, and then followed by Tidal. So you want to be within those 3 companies because they pay, and Tidal pays the most. That's Jay-Z's company.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, Tidal. That's right.
Yeah, they pay 13 cents a stream. Wow. And Apple pays about, I think they pay about 4 cents. And then Spotify pays the less, obviously.
Wow.
So, but that's what it's all about. And we're streaming very well on Spotify right now. We're averaging about 7,000 to 8,000 streams a day, which is good for independent group. And right now we're at 143 streams. And we have over 35,000 monthly followers. So,
that's incredible.
Like I said, I mean, but for Billboard to even look at us, we got to get the millions. We got to be in the millions.
So what's your, like, as far as like when, getting it out there independently, you said, I mean, I'm sure I definitely know a thing or two about the independent, but more so in the film side. My background's film, so I totally get the work that you got to put in.
That's what I want to talk to you about. Yeah, so we can get this in a film. Go ahead, though.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, have you thought about maybe putting it on a movie soundtrack and getting it some more visibility?
Absolutely. Right now, my record label is called Turner Music Promotion, and any avenue that we can take to get the song out there, we're pulling out all the stops right now.
Nice.
So anything, if we can get it on a TV show or a movie, that would be fantastic. The more exposure, the better. There's no limit to what we're trying to do right now. Everything is doing well. The video is doing well on YouTube.
Nice.
We got over almost 6,000 streams, 6,000 views on YouTube, and the video came out about 6 or 7 days ago.
Nice.
And then we actually got a song on there that's doing well. It's got over 6,000 plays. So we're trying to hit every exposure that we possibly can. My promoter, Mike Matthews, a digital radio tracker, is in Houston, Texas, and he's an independent record promoter, but he's only one of the ones that I trust because a lot of them they're not truthful. So
Yeah.
we put thousands of dollars into this project.
Oh, yeah.
I could tell you. Mm-hmm.
And it sounds so great, and I'm just very happy for you guys. Like it's really, really good. So, I mean, because the fact that you're bringing this kind of music back, having it in mainstream, it needs that, because I mean, we have there's so many discussions about R&B and not how it used to be back in the day.
Right.
It's completely different now. It's like it's super hardcore and it's disgusting. But this song I heard, I was like, wow, it's like, it's beautiful. You want to like make love. Like it's special, right? You know what I mean? It's like a sexy, but like, you know, I love that you're bringing that kind of that message back, where it's positive and it's not like on some negative, you know, in our culture, unfortunately, our music, sometimes, you know, we speak about certain things. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, we have class. So, yeah. So.
Right. I was going to ask you, like, I'm sure like you've collaborated with a lot of people. I was reading that you've done like work with a lot of people. Who are some of the favorite, or maybe one of your favorite people that you've worked with, and why?
As far as
like musically wise, like collaborate, like a Cameo that you've worked with, that you've had somebody.
Oh, well, Cameo is just one of the groups that we look up to. So that we kind of mimic our music behind. My favorite is the Isley Brothers. I'm a big fan of Ernie Isley. Now, you heard the guitar part you were listening to the jazzy part on. That was just something I came up with. But I am a student of the Jimi Hendrix, the Ernie Isley. If you ever see me play live, I play a lot like Ernest, not as good, but I'm a student of his. If I ever meet him one day, one of my friends actually met him and got a photo. Said, "Hey, somebody really appreciates you. You got someone that plays like you." You know, and that's why Ernie Isley to me is the closest thing to Jimi Hendrix. And he can solo. He can solo and chord, and he does it in R&B. You know, he can bring that different rock feel, and that's what I like. Matter of fact, our new show that we're putting together, I have a part of the show where I just go into solos from Ernie Isley, like Go For Your Guns, you know, Better Love, you know, Voice Atlantis, you know. So I get to act up. I like to show off.
I love that. I love that. The crowd probably is going crazy, like, yeah.
We do. It is. It's very. But I've worked with famously some people that's probably gone now. It was the guy. Actually worked with. Oh, I'm actually doing some promotions for Switch right now. Greg Williams Switch. I did meet Bobby the Barge before he passed. We did actually a show with him. He was just talking to me how he hit those high notes when he was in the studio. You know, I met him in Detroit. So I met some famous people, but I haven't really necessarily worked with them. But most of the people I work with were independent artists. But Kelsey has been definitely the greatest because she's 31.
Nice.
She's 31, no kids, and she's just brilliant. And she has her own stuff out too. So
how'd you find her? Yeah, how'd you find her?
I found her on this site called Better Mix or something like that. And that's how I found her. Originally, you know, she does demo tapes and stuff like that. But when I approached her, I said, "No, this is gonna be a record." She said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Yeah." So and it was just the whole process that came together. You know, she's a really nice young lady, very classy, brought up in the church in North Carolina, and for us to find her was just a godsend.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We've done very well. We sent her the music. We told her what we wanted, and we didn't have to fly her in to do the vocals. She did them in North Carolina.
Nice.
So,
yeah,
we
sounds
needed
great.
some changes. Everything was done high tech. So I didn't meet Kelsey until we did the video back in May. So,
wow. Wow, that's awesome. No, I mean it's great. I was gonna ask you, I like to get a little deep with music. The state of music now, like, and where it's going, and the fact that there's so many people, that there's, you know, platforms and visibility. How do you see yourself do you think independently is the way to go, or do you feel like getting on a record deal and signing a contract and having somebody do that work for you, but being more hands-on? Because I know that there's pros and cons to both, right? There's that independent, you're working way more harder, but then you're signed to someone that's like, you don't have to do that much, but then you're not getting you don't know where your money's going, everything. So like, for people that are trying to get in the music industry, what would you say to them? Like, do you feel like independently is the best way? What would you say?
Well, I like independent. Let me tell you why. Because I don't want no one telling me what I can't do.
Absolutely.
My record label, we're like a hybrid label. We have one side of the label. I got two good ladies that we offer bands streaming services. We offer them other formats, including regular radio and digital radio tracker, to get their music heard. Versus like what we're trying to do now. For us to be number 7 in the country on top 10, going up against big time record labels and stars like Meosha and After 7 and others, we're holding our own. But nobody's calling me yet. But they probably will, because if a record label call me, I don't want a traditional record deal. I want a deal where they take over the promotions and distribution. So like what Babyface them had when they had their company, Terry Lewis, Jimmy Jam, something like that. Because being on a record label, like when Prince was 17 when he got signed, they heard his tape, they flew right to his house and signed him, but he had no idea what he was signing. He was signing a lifetime contract. It was a bad contract. And he didn't realize that till later. But Prince could do 3 or 4 albums in a day, So, and one of my big people that I look up to is Morris Day in the Time. We used to do some stuff, and we do incorporate some Prince in our show, along with our original. But, the music business, when he put that sign on his face, it can be very shrewd. And one of the last things, unless you Beyonce or somebody big like that, independent, there's pros and cons, because like right now, we spend thousands of dollars on Always, okay, and we're not going to see any royalties for at least 6 or 7 months. But I know when they come, they're going to come, and so versus being signed to the label. Another thing, when I work with artists, we got a couple of artists that we work with, but when I work with them, we teach them about the business, because see, when you get a record deal, whether it's independent or with a major, it's like signing a contract. Like this beautiful BMW right here. I wanted to show you that. See there, I got you. But I wanted to get, it's just like me buying this car. I have to pay the car note on it. I got to pay back. Same thing with a record label.
Right.
Record people don't understand. I mean, some artists don't understand. When you go out there, they spend everything they spend on you. They can recuperate that because they spend it on you. And is it fair or unfair? And if you didn't write the songs, you're not going to get much of anything.
That's true.
So, and that's what we try to do, is teach we try to teach artists that we work with the business. So to answer your question, it's pros and cons for both of them. But I would say if you go independent, you got to have the money. Because like, for instance, Kelsey has an album out there on Spotify named Queen. You go out there and listen to it. The album is a classic. We do 3 or 4 of her songs in our show. But after we get through promoting Always, I'm going to get permission from her management to re-promote that album, because it's just sitting there. It has no streams, but it's a classic. But that's what happens to a lot of artists. They put out great music, and then it just sits there because they don't have no outlets to get it played. And it costs money to get our music out. So we're using the proceeds, hopefully, from Always to build a good system so where we can start helping other artists get their music out there too.
I like that. Because you're right. There's a lot of artists that just go, that sits on the shelves, and you're like, wow, this is better than I've heard of a mainstream artist. But because they have so many people backing them up, that's what we hear all the time. So that's awesome what you're doing. And kudos to you. So
Okay.
you said moving in, you want to definitely move into the film kind of world. Have you thought about like we working on something, like creating something to
Well, I don't have the money for it, but
Mhm.
if someone approached me about using our song
You're totally open
and
to it?
they're legit, I want to make sure it's right though.
Uh,
So, because I own the rights to the song, so it's got to be they got to come right, so and reasonable. We're open to that. Is that what you do? I heard you do
yeah,
something like that.
I'm a film. Well, so my background is
Hmm.
I went to film school for cinematography. So I have I shoot on a lot of movie sets, but then I,
Hmm.
moved on and got out of
Hmm.
that to
Hmm.
directing and then having my
Hmm.
own production company. Like you said, doing it yourself
Right.
independently. And then
Hmm.
from my production company, I created feature films, shorts, music videos,
Hmm.
stuff like that. But I
Hmm.
mainly do movies now and I write. And then I
Hmm.
did podcasting after the pandemic
Hmm.
happened.
Hmm.
So yeah, just trying to be like a what do you call it, like a Oprah, but the Oprah film,
Okay. Well, hopefully, you'll
you
shoot some
know.
nice movie and come to me and say, John, we'd like to use the song.
Oh
So
yeah, I
that'd
mean,
be
I have a
great.
lot of stuff coming, a lot of
Yeah.
films coming down the pipeline. So
Hmm.
yeah, we'll definitely
Well,
connect. But thank you so much for coming on. And oh, really quickly, where can people find you on social media? So they can find you
um,
and yeah.
they can on social media. They can reach the Turner Brothers on on Facebook and um, Instagram. We're not on Twitter. So
No
those
Twitter.
two, and then no, I don't. Not much. And then we streaming. They can find us on the Turner Brothers featuring Kelsey D because there's more than one Turner Brothers. We are. They can find us on Spotify. They can find us on Tidal, Apple Music, Amazon Music,
Right.
Deezer, SoundCloud. Um, Probably some other ones, but those are the main ones. Okay.
All the platforms, all the platforms. So
Hmm.
everybody
Right.
stream it, follow
Right.
them, support, definitely.
Exactly.
One last question. I like to
Hmm.
always end it with something positive or just a message. Uh, for those
Hmm.
that are listening, the people that, that have dreams of trying to do what you're
Hmm.
doing or make it at, an usher level or whatever, what advice would
Hmm.
you give to them?
Well, I would say um, talent is one thing, but then you gotta have the business part of it. Talent is only one aspect of it, and unless you have someone investing in you, you know, in order for you to get out there and be heard and be seen, be among the, the other artists like we are right now on Mediabase and other charts, you have to make sure that you're connected with someone businessly that knows the business and knows how to get you out there. Now, unfortunately, there are a lot of crooks out there, but they're very. There are some companies like mine, Turner Music Promotions, that are doing it right, and we teach the artists about the music industry so we don't have those problems later on, like TLC had with the Face or Pebbles or whatever. We don't have those problems where people coming back saying, "Hey, look, stole money from us." No, we teach them about the bit. A matter of fact, when my artists, I teach them about the business. I'm a graduate professor at night, so I teach them about how the business, how to do a simple copyright, how to get your stuff published, things that some labels don't want you to know. And this
Mhm.
is how you make your money. If you don't write no songs, then boom, this is how you're going to make your money. I teach them that so they know that's not to say that even later on you still may not get some complaints, but I try to teach them in the beginning the business side so they know it's not all peaches and cream like some people think it is. And the music has changed these days. So if the days of going down to a radio station and getting a record played, it's not happening. We have um, I don't want to, well, I won't say the company, but certain company back in the late 90s bought up a lot of the main radio stations, including our main station here in Cleveland, Ohio. And when that
Mm.
happened, it was sort of like a monopoly on things. And so, if you want to get your stuff played, you got to go through them to get it played. And what does that do for the little man? See what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
very difficult to have your record played locally. But our song, we're being played at other radio stations that are not connected with that company, and we're doing well. So I would say that was a long answer, but
No,
main
I love
thing
it.
is,
I love it. Thank you.
you gotta have the business part together. Have to, because if you don't, um, you have to let these artists know what it's about. Performing on the stage and all that, that's just a small part of it. You should know the business part. And that's what we do.
Yeah, definitely know the
Mhm.
business. Absolutely. You're right. There's a lot of artists, like even Megan Thee Stallion talked about how she couldn't get out of her contract, even
Right.
being on these platforms and shows. She was still like
Mhm.
bound to a contract, and she was, in prison, almost.
Mhm.
So you're absolutely right.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. And it's not. I don't ever want an artist to be like Kelsey. I stay on good terms with her.
Mhm.
Her and her management. When we shot the video, I treated them very good. Put them in a 5-star hotel. They didn't pay for nothing, and she got paid to do the video, and her manager for coming here. So the point is that you treat people good. Good things come back. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So because she had been through something at a young age, and we don't want to be that type of company. So when we work with artists, we try to keep it in good faith. That
Absolutely.
way, and if any issues do come up, we talk about it and move on.
Mhm.
Because I don't want to be known as someone that's corrupt. Definitely no way of shape of that, because I feel that if you do good things will come back to you.
100%. 100%. I like that. If you do good things will come back to you. I like that.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
taught you something.
I like it. I like that. That's
Mhm.
good. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure talking to you and kind of picking your brain a little bit about your music and adventures. And yeah, it was great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, I forget your name. I'm kind of old. So what's your name
Meosha.
again?
Meosha.
Meosha. Okay, Meosha. Yeah. So what is her name? What is her name? I think I saw that on the email.
You're like,
Before,
what is that?
what is it? Yeah, what is that name? So,
It's
well, where are
Japanese.
you? Oh, okay, that's pretty name for a pretty lady.
Thank
So,
you. Well,
I don't know how to get a hold of you. You have to. I don't have any of your information, but you know,
I'll
I
find
don't
you
know
on
how to get a hold
social.
of you.
I'll find
Yeah,
you.
you can find me on social. But yeah, and hopefully, yeah, please consider us for some of your films coming up, and
Yes.
or whatever. It'd be great to do. I like this, and I like to see some of the stuff you've already put out too. So find me on social.
I
You'll find me
definitely
on
will.
social. Either, and I'm social. I'm Dr. J, Dr. John on social.
Okay.
So you can find that. Yeah, I just like to see some of the stuff you've done.
Definitely.
So then
Yeah.
that's not the end here. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And thank you all again for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.